It's not showing viewers again. Hello everyone, I'm not sure if this is live or not. We'll figure that out pretty soon, hopefully. People are saying late. I don't think it's working. Oh, this guy says live. Are we here? Can you guys hear us? Actually on time.
Frame rate's weird again.
It's not local recording.
Is it playing on Twitch? There's echo.
Yeah.
There we go. That'll probably take care of it. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. I am your host.
Is it still? It's still laggy. Here, you talk to them. I'll try and figure this out.
I don't think there's anything we can do because last time the issue was what?
4 viewers.
No,
There we go,
that was a lag. Last time the issue was that we were also local recording at the same time as we were live streaming, so that was definitely a problem. Why don't I start with an update on what we have going in terms of CPU cooler testing? Now we can do that after, or we can do that soon. The liquid-cooled Prodigy build is also finally done. Now this is going to surprise you guys. On our standard test bench, we have now tested pretty much every current generation liquid cooler with the exception of the SwiftTech H220. So we've done the H100i, the Kraken X60, the H110, the Thermaltake Water 2.0, is there anything else? That covers all the major platforms, right?
H90, H110,
Yep.
H100i,
Yeah.
Silver Arrow.
Oh yeah, right, high-end air. So the Silver Arrow Extreme represents high-end air on our test bench. And the big winner, very surprisingly, using our Noctua fans at about 1,000 RPM, so our sometimes undervolted when they're 120 mil and not undervolted when they're 140 mil fans, was actually the Thermaltake Water 2.0. Now, I don't know if the fans that are included with the Water 2.0 Extreme are anything special because we actually never ran them. But when it comes to shear, water block, pump, radiator, this guy is the big winner.
It's got a thick rad. It's not purely surprising.
You just ruined the surprise. Now
Oh,
there's
you
no
were gonna
surprise
show
left
them?
for them at all. That's really awkward. It's awkward for you because
For
now,
you, mainly.
because now you're fired.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's early tonight.
I made it to the live stream first, though.
No, I fired you earlier today.
When?
I don't remember, but Diesel said something and then I fired you.
Oh, but I think you did it because of something Diesel said.
Yeah, that counts still. And
Oh, really?
fellow employees can get you fired. That's actually a thing.
Okay.
Okay, so most liquid cooling...
Nothing. Keep going.
Oh. Most liquid cooling systems,
Those are my fans we use.
especially... that's okay, I'm just showing for thickness sakes. Most liquid cooling systems are about the same thickness as the 120 millimeter fans that we mount on them. What you can see here with the Water 2.0 Extreme is that it's actually significantly thicker than a regular fan. So this is something that I've talked about a fair amount, where people will say, Linus, can you test the whatever pre-filled liquid cooling kit? To which I'll reply, well, it still only has a 120 millimeter radiator. It still isn't any thicker. So the limiting factor for these pre-done liquid cooling things is, oh, we're back down to 4 viewers again, but there's no way that's right.
It goes like this. It's totally messed up.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
100% messed up.
Where was I?
You're saying the differentiating factor.
Right. Is the amount of heat that the thing can actually dissipate. Because the CPU block designs, honestly, there's really not that much that you can improve about them without sort of a dramatic increase in the cost of manufacturing. Like, look at what someone like for an Apogee HD. That should give you some, I mean, they charge as much for a block as a lot of these pre-done liquid coolers.
Keep on,
are...
keep going, keep going, keep going.
What?
Keep going.
They're saying the sound is low.
Yeah, no, I can fix that too.
You can't fix that from there. No, that
Oh, you
won't
have
do
it
it. That
maxed
won't
out?
do it.
We can put
just
the other
have
mic on.
to- No, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Here. It's not even turned up. There.
How's the feed now, guys? Is the feed clear now?
There we go. How's the sound now?
I think I fixed the feed.
Okay, sound is fine for me. Sound is a smidge low. Sound is low. Sound is fine. Okay, whatever. I just turned it up quite a bit, so... Okay, so anyway, the limiting factor is the radiator itself, because you can take heat away from the CPU as much as you want, but if you don't have some way to dissipate it to the air, then there's nothing you can do. So why does this dual 120 millimeter, slightly thicker rad beat a dual 140 millimeter rad? Because it's all about surface area. It's how much copper and aluminum can you put the water in contact with that generates the performance. So in the case of single 120 millimeter rads, you could probably make them like this thick, and you'd never get that same performance that you get out of this larger surface area, because so much of it is wasted with the fan hub in the middle and the edges, which aren't getting any airflow, that the actual amount of cooling surface area is not very high.
Yeah.
Not only that, but there's a law of diminishing returns as you thicken things that leads you to eventually you get this thick, and the fan, no matter what fan you put on it, can barely even draw air through the radiator fins. So that is why this was actually a great balance. So how much did this beat the H110 by?
Oh,
I'm putting you on the spot. He's on the spot.
I can bring up numbers. I think it was 4.
Was it
4 degrees?
4? Was it really that much?
I think it might have been. Oh no, the H110 beat
the Kraken by 4.
The Kraken by 4.
And
but
we
then
think
the Kraken was. I think it's messed up.
Yeah, we think there's something wrong with our Kraken X60. Like, there's no way it should be generating results like that. But this one did beat the H110 though, probably by like a couple of degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is the winner just because of the thicker radiator. The problem with going with a thicker dual radiator though is a lot of cases just barely fit an H110 or an H110i. Because the VRM heat sinks on the top of your motherboard are going to interfere with anything that's thicker. So case compatibility for the Water 2.0 Extreme will be lower, but it is, as of right now, according to our testing methodology, which has us using none of the fans that are included with anything, but our own separate high-quality pressure-optimized fans, this is our #1 choice. So we'll be releasing all of those cooler reviews over the next little while. And you guys can download the graphs off of our...
It beat H110 by 1 degree.
Yeah, so H110 by 1 degree. Sorry, so it's very, very narrow margin of victory, but a victory
still,
nonetheless.
It's a 120 millimeter versus a 140 millimeter. So, like, that's pretty awesome.
M&Ms are delicious. I finished my dinner before the live stream today, though.
You're still eating, though. It's not much better. It doesn't make that much of a difference that it's candy.
Is it worse that it's optional eating, that I totally don't have to do?
Because before the whole excuse was like, oh, I didn't eat all day. But you just ate.
I did. I had 2 plates of dinner. It was awesome.
Yeah, and now you're having... You have no excuse now.
Would you like a candy?
No, I'm good.
It's warm from my pocket.
That's gross.
At least it's not warm from my back pocket.
Let's
move along. Okay.
So, big thud.
We have been promising you guys a liquid-cooled BitPhoenix Prodigy for about 300 bazillion years. And actually, well, since launch.
It's been a long time.
And since the launch, we have intended every day to build that liquid-cooled Prodigy and show you guys. So we have done it. That's okay, I'm just going to dump it on the floor. We filmed the NCIX Tech Tips episode where we not only show off the liquid-cooled Prodigy, but also do a build guide for how to build your own water-cooled Prodigy from BitPhoenix. So this is, for those of you who don't know, pretty much one of the bossest ITX enclosures on the block. So it's got kind of a Power Mac-ish looking frame. It's a little bit wider than most chassis would be. On the side, it's got ventilation. On the back, you can see the orientation of the motherboard is actually horizontal. So then there's a 120 or a 140 millimeter thing there. And then you've got your power supply, which is bottom mounted. Okay? The bottom has a filtered intake for the power supply. And things start to get, I'll get my lovely assistant Slick to go ahead and pull off the side panel here. This is where things start to get interesting. So we got a lot of cool, sweet, rockin' hardware mounted in here. and this is what it looks like. So this is our liquid-cooled Prodigy. We have gone with a fairly conservative configuration, sort of. So, okay, you know what? I'll get. Can I get you to hold this and then I'll point at stuff? Okay. So first of all, here we've got a dual 120 millimeter Raider, dual 120 millimeter Alpha Cool Nexus 45, Nexus XT45. It's an all copper rad. So the frame, the fins, the tubes, everything in there is copper. Then over here at the back we have another. Oh, that came loose because the mounting hole isn't quite lined up right. Uh-oh. Oh, the screw came out. That's a problem. Well, okay.
What are you pointing at? I can't see it.
Oh, I see it.
Is it the block?
No, it's the, oh my goodness. I hope this didn't damage anything. That could be a big problem.
What is it?
It's the rad at the back came out.
Oh.
Because I only put in 2 screws because I was lazy. Okay, it's back on. Okay, so there's a Nexus XT45 single 120 millimeter rad. If we were to mod the top of the case, see in the roof there where there's room for dual 120s? There's no room now because this one here blocks the clearance that you'd, and actually they both block what clearance you'd need to install a dual 120 rad there. But you could probably put another single 120 rad there if you drilled your own hole. So that's an idea for any of you modders out there. For our graphics card, because we, oh, see that keeps coming out. It's because the
You put 2 screws in, I mean more than 2 screws in there.
yeah, no, the problem too though is that the heads for these go right through the fan holes. So
oh yeah, they're really
screws,
small.
yeah, they're really small.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can do right now.
They're nice though. They're copper screws.
Yeah, copper screws, which is sort of balling, but I guess they saved a little bit on the making the head smaller. Okay, so for the block, we've gone with a GTX 670 with an Alpha Cool GTX 670 block. Again, all copper. So these are copper plugs here, which is really cool. And then you can see the copper of the block itself in here. There's going to be more close-ups of this in the NCIX Tech Tips episode, so don't worry about that. And then the front of it is so mirrored that we can probably show you guys, there's our lights, there you go. There's presumably our camera somewhere around there. Don't worry, it's over there. If you could see our camera, you'd know that it's not mounted properly on the tripod and just has a piece of cardboard holding it up, which is cool. For those of you who are asking why I'm wearing this shirt, I actually own 2 of them, which allows me to wash them and wear them at the same time. Seasonic 520 watt power supply, reservoirs mounted here. You could put in a longer graphics card, but we wouldn't be able to use this spot to mount the reservoir. I really liked this spot for the res because it allows me to put it above the pump, which is down there in the very bottom, without sort of any difficulty and without drilling any additional holes. And then let's go ahead and open up the top so they can see what we did in terms of wire management inside the case and tubing management. So let's go ahead and flip this bad boy down here. Oh man, you can't see that at all. How well can you hold this? Because I'm gonna, here, here. No, come back. It's not gonna focus there. That's okay, we just need more light. Here.
I feel like a Teletubby.
Yeah, I know, right?
Everyone's looking at my stomach.
Okay, so inside here, you can see the tubes mounted to the, hold on, this isn't working. And it is working. Okay, so there's the tubes mounted to the dual rad. Here's the tubes mounted to the single rad back here. Then you can see the Apogee HD water block way down there in its guts, 16 gigs of Patriot memory. And you can see that the water block for the GPU, tilt it down, there we go, is, lift up, but keep it tilted down. Can you do that? Awesome, you're the man. Right, something fell out.
What just fell out?
No, it's okay. That's just the pad for the pump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cushion. So there are the fittings on the back of the GPU block, and I think that pretty much kind of covers it. So the water-cooled BitPhoenix Prodigy.
Did you show them the copper, stop fittings?
We can give them a close-up of that, sort of. So there's the copper stop fittings that are also for the all-copper radiators. Hopefully they can see.
You can go do a close-up if you want.
That's okay, that's good enough.
All right.
So yeah, there you go. Balling machine, so 3570K, GTX 670, 3 thick 120 millimeters worth of radiator. Well, inspector fans, because they came in the case and we didn't really have anything else handy. I'm going to turn this light off because I think it's wrecking everything. But it's finally done. So you guys can check out our guide on how to build your own. It's not as in-depth as the ultimate water cooling guide that we produced a long time ago. Like, not like, here's how to screw in a fitting.
Yeah.
But
That was pretty elaborate.
Yeah, but it's more like, here's the little things that you'll need to know.
You kind of already know how to water cool. Here's how to water cool a Prodigy.
Yeah. So everyone should just go and build a Prodigy now. Hey, did we change the name of the Twitch thing?
I don't think so.
Update. There we go. Yeah. All right, so why don't we do some Twitter Q&A while Slick goes and finds us a topic to talk about. Which
Bam,
of course
that crazy Russian thing right there.
Oh, what's
meteor over Russia, and it's like freaking huge, and it's paused right before it kind of starts, so you can show people.
Okay, well we better do that then.
It's pretty crazy.
Is this muted? Nope. Mute. There we go. All right, guys. Meteor time. Da, 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 da.
So you'll see it coming right there.
Oh wow.
And then it's like way bigger than you thought. And then it kind of goes and kind of fizzes out a little bit right there. And then you can he comes around the corner. You can see it kind of like exploded a little bit and then fizzed out.
Wow.
Yeah, like serious business. And apparently there was more than just that one.
Huh.
I haven't like read into it very much. I just heard about it last night and then decided I'd try and find a video for it that we could show people. Because that's like pretty intense. And this guy just keeps on cruising along. Imagine you were driving down the road and you saw that above.
I know, like what the...
Like we still have it open in the side window, and the guy just.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even realize like the crazy thing that's going on. He's passing this guy. He's in a hurry to get home to his family and make sure that they didn't get crushed or something, or maybe he just drives like.
I heard a rumor that one of them hit a zinc plant, and it just like crushed the whole top of the building and everything. Just really bad.
Wow.
Like I'm pretty sure there was quite a bit more than just this one.
Maybe if we'd looked at the astrological signs more carefully, we'd have seen this coming.
I'm gonna go look for more topics. Oh God.
Slick's not a believer in astrology. Slick, why don't you believe in astrology?
No.
For those of you who don't, who are not familiar with astrology, it is the science of the time. Okay, I can't even say that with a straight face. That's not astronomy. Astronomy is a real thing.
Yeah.
Astrology is the thing where the time that you're born dictates something about your personality, or.
I'm a Scorpio, so this means I have to marry this person
Yeah.
that was born in this month. And that means you're going to make tons of money this month.
Yeah, or like, you're a Taurus, so you're impatient, or whatever else, and yeah, it's one of those things. It's one of those things that helps me kill some time while I get Twitter going.
The New York Times with the Tesla.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Model S.
Can you tell me what you did with the keyboard?
No, because I didn't.
Oh. Okay, so there was a big thing with the New York Times in the last little bit here, where Tesla sent the New York Times reporter, reviewer, associate. That's okay, I got it. A Tesla vehicle, and he was supposed to create, an article, an unbiased, impartial analysis of the car, and he came back with an article that was very critical of the Tesla vehicle, saying that it wasn't, it lost its charge, and it just, didn't charge properly, and just generally very, very negative about it.
And this was after, what are those guys in the UK? Top Gear did a review on it as well, and Tesla had already found some kind of sketchy stuff with theirs. Like, they said it ran out of power. It's a fully electric vehicle, and they have a shot of it running out of power, and then they overlay the sound of a dying motor. But it's on a fully electric car, so if it runs out of power, it doesn't chug down like a motor.
Yeah.
So people were like, "What?" And then Top Gear eventually, after they were in court about it and all this kind of stuff, and then Top Gear eventually was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. We kind of fibbed that shot."
We made it up.
So after that, now New York Times pulls this, And Tesla was worried about any other problematic stuff, so they put a black box in the car. And they were like, yeah, you just kind of drove around a parking lot a whole bunch, and you had like the temperature in the cabin was like 75 degrees at all points in time. And he claimed that he was cruise controlled at 52 miles, or at 52 kilometers an hour? I don't remember what it was.
Probably miles.
Probably miles. Yeah, okay. But he was actually at like 75. And like he just like kind of made up a whole bunch of stuff and did a whole bunch of weird practices, like not clocking distance in certain areas, and it's just really, really sketchy.
And so basically their editorial integrity is under fire big time here, because why would you give a negative review to such an exciting, innovative technology if you're not on the take?
Getting the money.
Yeah, like what's the point? Why, how do you benefit from this? So that's
not a legitimate review at that point.
Yeah, that's sort of a big deal right now. So the only logical conclusion that we can come to is that you should get all of your news directly from us. Because we are not taking any money from like a oil company or automotive company to bring you biased reviews of graphics cards.
And like the one thing is, there's one thing to be said for like a sponsored spot, and then there's another thing to be said when you get paid off to be against something.
Yes.
Like that's.
And we have no problem
ridiculous.
with a sponsored spot. Sponsored spot is good, especially if a sponsored spot is something that you already like anyway. I would have no problem here. I will list companies that I would have no problem, and I hope none of you can really disagree with this. I'd have no problem taking a sponsored spot from Intel, AMD, Nvidia, Asus, Corsair, companies that know their stuff. Kingston.
There's a bunch more.
Yeah,
but like
there's lots more. Antec, they build good stuff. I mean, their power supplies. Do you remember the soldering job on that new power supply we saw? I was like,
it's kind of beautiful.
What?
You could frame that.
Yeah.
You could frame that.
You could call that art, and no one would know the difference because it was beautiful. So there's companies that I would have no problem taking a sponsored spot from. But if we were to take a sponsored spot from Intel on an AMD CPU review,
that wouldn't really work.
Give it a negative review, and then you guys probably shouldn't watch our videos anymore. Just saying.
That would be kind of the tipping point.
Speaking of not watching our videos anymore, I've gotten some complaints that people aren't getting notifications in their subscription box that we have new videos. I've actually gotten a couple, and I've noticed viewership has gone down in the last few days. So I don't know if YouTube's bugged out, but one guy said that the solution for him was to unsubscribe and resubscribe at right at the same time, and that took care of it, and now he's getting us showing up in his sub box. So just kind of throwing that out there. If you guys wanted to get our videos and you're not getting them, then that might be a way to take care of that.
Wait. That meteor that exploded, bring up Twitter. That meteorite that exploded over Russia was only one, and it damaged the... Okay, so that's
500 people.
Wow. So that same one we saw, it wasn't multiple like I was assuming.
So that was probably a piece of it, though.
Yeah. So that same one that we saw in that video hit the zinc plant that I was talking about. It was not multiple.
Okay.
500 people, that's kind of...
That's crazy. Are you going to dye your hair again? Probably not. Budget gaming CPU for $82 versus a... I'd probably go with the AMD one, because the Pentium one cannot be overclocked at all.
And AP, yeah.
Fix the camera angle. Yeah, I thought I fixed it. Is it, like, falling? Because I'm here again. I think it might be turning.
Maybe. Tighten the spots.
Sure.
Seems pretty tight to me.
No, it seems pretty tight to me. Maybe I just adjusted it stupidly last time. There we go. Now you can see us. The Russian air defense intercepted the meteorite and blew it up to reduce the size and avert a catastrophe. Okay. Good work. People are saying they saw water dripping out of the Prodigy. I didn't see any personally. Yeah, I saw it. I didn't put the cap on the top of the reservoir too tightly.
We're taking this build apart.
Yeah, we're going to take it apart like immediately. So we're done with it.
Yeah. It's partially taken apart already.
Would a SwiftTech H220 perform in the Prodigy? That would make an awesome and practical multiplayer. Yes, it would. In fact, what I would probably do is I would throw another 120mm rad on there, and you're ready to go. And that avoids the issue with mounting space for reservoirs and pumps, because the reservoir is part of the radiator, and the pump is...
Show them again.
Well, one thing that would be kind of tough with the SwiftTech unit, actually, is you'd have to mount it... You know what? I don't want to guarantee that, because the H220 has a longer tank at the bottom to be a res as well, and I'm not 100% sure if there's clearance for that, so
If you didn't put a fan in the back here, you could probably fit it there.
maybe.
Facing the other way.
Maybe in the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Are Samsung 840 Pro SSDs better than Intel's 520s? Yes.
520s are getting a little bit old now.
Yeah, it's a little dated. It's a SandForce drive, so what is there to really say about it? Static constantly, I use onboard sound. Is that why? Very possibly, yes. Onboard sound should just go away.
Yeah.
Budget, oh, okay, that was twice.
Like this one.
For fan control, what do you prefer, manual controller or PWM? This is actually a good discussion topic. So,
Well, we both have the same one.
do we both have the same one?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Why? What do you prefer?
No, I said we both have the same one.
One of what?
Fan control.
Oh, fan controller. Okay, but he says, I think he just means in general. What do you prefer?
Does he mean manual controller as in like a separate thing, and then PWM is on the motherboard?
I was going to interpret it as analog versus PWM fan control.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we talk about that a little bit? These are fan connectors. They're blurry, you can't see them, but don't worry about it. This one has 3 pins, and this one has 4 pins. So the 3-pin one has a pin for positive, a pin for negative, and then a pin that is an RPM sensor that tells you if the fan is spinning, how fast it's spinning, and if it stops spinning. Okay, the way to control this fan is to reduce the voltage. So computer fans all pretty much run at 12 volts DC, and that's when they run at the correct speed. You can overvolt them, and you can have them run faster, but it'll burn out the motor sooner. And you can undervolt them, which has the benefit of making them quieter, but at the cost of airflow, because they won't spin as fast. If you undervolt too far, what tends to happen is, particularly on cheap fans, they'll tick or they'll whine. And if you undervolt again too far, they'll have trouble starting. So they'll kind of go like this. And they'll never actually get past that tipping point and get started. But even if you have it at like 5 volts, if you start it manually, it can often keep going, even at a very, very, very slow speed.
Just needs to start that momentum.
Yeah, needs to get that momentum going. Okay, so that's 3-pin. 4-pin PWM fans have a 4th pin called pulse width modulation pin. I made that up. But don't worry about it. So it's a 4th pin in the connector and a 4th wire that runs to the fan. These fans can be controlled by simply undervolting them, because you just don't connect the 4th pin to anything or don't send any signal down it, and you can just undervolt it and it can spin slower. But pulse width modulation actually controls the fan in a different way. So what it does is, instead of, yeah, see, he's doing it. It controls the fan like this. So instead of applying a constant 12 volt voltage to it, it will go, okay, here's a 12 volt, oh, not now. Here's 12 volt, not now. Here's 12 volt, not now. So what that does is, by applying 12 volts, you always have enough momentum to start the fan, which is one of the advantages of PWM, but you don't have to, you always have enough to start the fan. Right, but you don't have to spin it at full speed, because it's going burst 12, burst 12, burst 12.
Keep spinning it so it just keeps moving.
Yeah.
It's like hitting your finger against a fan so it continually rotates.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
hitting it at full force. That's a good analogy. Good job. Good job. You're not fired tonight.
Does that unfire me from before?
Yeah.
So I'm back at 0 again.
No, because I fired you once earlier already. So you're at
I'm
negative 1.
Wait, no, so I'm at 1.
1, yeah, 1 time being
Okay.
fired. Okay. So PWM fan control. Okay. The disadvantage of PWM fan control is that it requires a controller, it requires a chipset inside the fan and inside the fan controller itself, so that'll be built into your motherboard or your fan controller, whether it's N-Cube T-Balancer or whatever else. And these are often not compatible. And incompatible PWM fan controllers can cause things like noises or grinding noises, or just kind of bad things.
Yeah.
Just very bad things. So there's actually a third method, and that is PWM control over 3-pin fans, but that can only really be done by fairly advanced controllers, like the one that we both use, which can do voltage control or PWM control. It's the N-Cubed T-Balancer, which is freaking awesome when you can get it to work. And I'm going to have an M&M, so why don't you explain what a T-Balancer does?
T-Balancer it's a microcontroller. It's a little board that you can put You don't have to display what you're eating.
It's
like,
delicious, though.
Look at my prize.
They can enjoy it with me.
Oh my goodness. It's a little it's a little module. You can link them up to other ones to add more fans to it. You can do whatever, but basically it's the central.
Holy crap! Okay, I'll be back in a minute.
What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Oh, he might be going and getting one? I know he has one. We both have one. Anyways, so you can hook up a whole bunch of fans to it. I'm getting spam text message and I'm worried that something's happening on the stream. Twitch, tell me if something's wrong. Nope. Okay, everything looks fine. Yeah, so it's basically an awesome fan controller. You can branch. There's only like 3 or 4 headers on it, but like I said, you can add another module that adds fans to it, or you can just split her off of those and then control sections. So how I have mine set up is all the fans that are up on my radiator I have in one section, and then all the fans in the front of my case are on another, and then the bottom and back fan are both on another one. So then based on certain temperature curves for all of those 3 different zones, those fans will change speed. So if I'm doing nothing on my computer, my radiator fans will turn off because that can idle and be totally fine, and my CPU won't get in trouble at all. It only hits like 35 with no fan spinning, so it's totally fine. But then the second I start playing a game or something, all those fans will turn on so that it can aid in cooling my CPU. So those fan curves are pretty nice. You can do stuff like that in Fan Expert and some other motherboard controller ones, but it's a little bit more elegant on the T-Balancer. M-cubed T-Balancer. The software for it is really messed up though. It's really hard to use. Apparently, Linus got it working a lot better than I did, and he said that he downloaded the German version and then installed an English language pack, which was better than just downloading the English version. So that's kind of funky, but apparently it worked. I've tried a few different fan controllers, but none of them were fully satisfying except for the M-cube T-Balancer. Oh, that's fantastic.
There you go.
I was thinking about whipping these out.
So whatever you were talking about now is not nearly as
Completely
interesting
irrelevant.
as us sitting here with weapons on the live stream.
They're not real guns.
Yeah, not real guns, guys. BB guns, although they come with realistic mag action. Yeah, sliding bolt. And, oh yeah, foldable stock.
Adjustable sights.
Adjustable sights. Dude, did it really?
Yeah, you have to turn the screws, but yeah, they're fully adjustable sights.
Oh, I had no idea. That's kind of awesome. 40 round mag, CO2 powered, and pretty reasonable replicas. So yeah, we're pretty excited about sort of. There was someone asking on the stream about the secret project that we've done some teasers of on Twitter, and we can't really show it to you yet, unfortunately. But I can tell you that it will be out soon.
That's probably really loud.
Oh yeah, that is probably loud. Okay, I won't play with the gun. I can tell you that it will be out soon. And for those of you complaining about the choppy video, there's nothing we can do about it because it is probably the Avermedia card.
It looks fine on our end, actually.
No, it does. Okay, that's true.
I'm not sure what it is.
And these actually are not the guns that we used in the super secret project. We acquired these sort of temporarily as a... I put it in the attic again.
Okay.
Yeah, we acquired these as a means of filming something similar to the super secret project, but hopefully with like replicas instead of a paintball marker, which is not that realistic looking. So there you have it. These are our new toys that we're doing something with, but I can't tell you guys necessarily what's coming. But I will say that it involves Diesel's talents in After Effects. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. If you're not already subscribed to the Tech Quickie channel, make sure that you are subscribed to the Tech Quickie channel because that is where all of this stuff will be going. Not on the Linus Tech Tips channel.
We're not posting the epic one on Linus Tech Tips channel?
No, that's going to go on Tech Quickie.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty epic, though. It's pretty epic.
I'm going to be tweeting that out like nuts. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Like, hands down, the coolest thing we've done.
Yeah, by far, it's the best video we've ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Intel walkthrough was pretty cool.
That's true.
They're on completely different playing fields.
Yeah,
so
that's totally a different...
they can't really compete with each other. The Intel walkthrough was pretty epic, but this one is just in a completely different realm of epicness.
But anyway, okay, so we'll put that aside for now. That was it. Sorry, what were you talking about? I never actually went and got a new topic. I just went and got the guns.
MQ T-balance here, but I covered it.
Oh, you covered it already. Okay.
I don't have any other topics.
That was all you had for tonight?
You don't have anything.
I do.
What do you have?
I just don't know what they are because I didn't go look at them instead of going and getting a gun to play with. Oh yeah, Dell's trying to go private again.
I thought they did.
They are getting resistance from some of their major stakeholders who are asking for completely unreasonable payouts on the stocks that they still have. So I think there's one group that owns like 8% and one group that owns like 4% or something like that. And they're asking for a value that's like 20% higher than what Dell has already shot up to following the news about the reacquisition of the stocks back. So so it was here, and then Dell sort of went, oh, okay, we're going to reacquire everything at this amount. So people glommed on and bought it at anything less than that because Michael Dell, and I think it's someone else, said, look, we're going to buy everything at this price. And then now that that's done, these guys are going, oh, well, we should get this much for it because the stock's worth this much, and this is supposed to be a buyout, right? So you can't just buy it at this price because it's worth more. But the argument is that if it had been worth more, then it would be...
they wouldn't be worried about doing that.
Yeah, like if it had been worth more, it wouldn't have only jumped up because they were talking about reacquiring it at that price. Which leads me to a discussion topic that we actually talked about a few weeks back, which was the Cisco sale of Linksys to Belkin. So I think this is interesting because I know enough about Linksys and what goes on over there to know that the business unit is profitable, at least, at least here in Canada. So I don't know about necessarily every market.
Right.
I know it's profitable.
It would be hard to imagine it's not profitable.
Yeah. I know it's self-sustaining.
Yeah.
So it covers the people who actually work there, and it's being sold off as an entire business unit. So the whole thing is just kind of going somewhere else.
The point is what stockholders want is this is like, if this is the profitability line, even if you're up here but plateauing, they don't care. They want you to be ramping up the whole time.
Yes. So revenue needs to go up, profitability needs to go up, and market share needs to go up. And if all of those numbers aren't going up, then that's bad. So that's where I feel like some very strange decisions get made. Why is Dell going private? And this leads me to, because they need to be able to do things internally that don't necessarily look good to a stockholder. And, you know, someone like Newegg, for example, has tried to go public a couple times now. And the problem every time was that Newegg's net margin was something like 1%. Now, 1% is not a lot of money from a stockholder's perspective. Would you invest in a company that's making 1%?
Not really, because as a stockholder, that's not profitable for you.
Right. How are you gonna make money by investing in this company? Whereas if you are the owner of Newegg and you're making 1% on probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 billion to $2.5 billion yearly. What do you care? Yeah, 1% of that. No problem. Because that's the leftover after they pay everyone and after everything's done.
So that's gains.
So
like
as a private company, their model works. But as a public company, they look like total, like, oh, why? I'd rather invest in Intel, where their profit margin is 40%. Or whatever else, or Apple, where their profit margin is, what was it, like 70% or something ridiculous like that?
99.9%.
Yeah, over 9,000%.
They summon money whenever they sell something.
Right. So why does Dell want to go private? Because in order to be competitive in the PC space, I mean, a lot of the viewers out there might think that a company like NCIX or Newegg or EVGA or whoever else makes like a ton of money. It's like, well, if they're charging me $500 for a graphics card, they're probably keeping $200 for themselves or $100. No, they're not.
First of all, R&D is insanely expensive.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm talking retailers right now, though.
Okay, yeah.
NVIDIA does okay.
You said EVGA.
Yeah, but EVGA... Oh, that's true. EVGA does have R&D. That's true. Because they do release custom cards, things like Twin and their custom coolers. R&D goes into a cooler. Like, no doubt about that. Okay, fine. You win. Customers...
Does that unfire me again? Am I at 0 now?
No, because you embarrassed me by proving me wrong. So actually, you're fired again.
What? That's not even fair. Okay, one sec. It's choppy. I think I can fix it.
What would you do?
Restarting the card. Worked last.
Wow, that is just super ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks less choppy.
So anyway, EVGA is an example of someone who actually... Right, so they're even more under the gun. There's customer support. There is just like stupid little things that you might not even think about, like designing a box. Like you have to have graphic designers. You have to have people to admin your stupid like community forum. Like there's everything costs money. And
like they do giveaways and stuff in their community forum, and they have a lot of community contests, and like they give out money to people who win build of the month, and they have their I can't even remember what it's called, but it's like their EVGA mod team, and like they have like their community embraced as well. Like,
so this whole thing is not sustainable if you're a public company because there's no way you'd survive on IT industry margins. So Dell, right, is trying to get back to being competitive. They're trying to get lean again. They're trying to get to the point where, you know, the entire executive team can't be fired by a bunch of shareholders if they, you know, make 1% or lose 2% for a quarter in order to, you know, bring something really cool and innovative to the market that they couldn't do if they weren't able to just kind of throw money at it for a little bit and like make things happen, just get things going.
Which will ultimately give them better market placement, people will care more, people will buy more products, but it's not immediately, so people don't care.
And shareholders a lot of the time can be very short-sighted.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they talk about, you know, well, I'm buying long or short or whatever else like that. So anyone who's in it for short-term gain has zero interest in Dell's survival 10 years from now. What do they care?
They won't even be invested in them anymore.
That's right. So if Dell needs to make a decision like, we're going to lose money for 2 years to get ourselves competitive again, they could never do it as a public company. So which leads me back to Cisco's decision to let go of Linksys. Why would you get rid of a profitable, self-contained business unit that has really no end in sight in terms of, like, what, we're going to stop needing routers? I don't think so. If anything, you know, high-end routers are going to become a bigger issue. I mean, when everyone can get Google Fiber to their door, yeah, I'm going to want a high-end router.
You're not going to want that stock thing.
No, you're not.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen, and good, because good riddance to that thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Linksys' high-end AC router, I think, can push something like 800 megabit through the WAN port. Like, it can actually route that speed, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, no, that's the kind of consumer routers we need. But because Cisco's a public company, and Cisco's accustomed to the kinds of margins that exist on enterprise-grade networking gear, which is basically like a one-time cost. You do the R&D, there's a software component that is a huge part of what that costs them. But the actual hardware, I mean, if you take apart a $5,000 or a $15,000 or a $50,000 switch, I can pretty much guarantee you, okay, maybe the $50,000 one, but something like a $15,000 switch, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to find anything more complex in there than an Intel Core i3. No way. There's no way. So they're making money on the solution rather than on the actual BOM cost. So they could sell as many as they want, and no cares were given about the R&D anymore because they moved a bunch of them. So anyway, what Linksys did is it's a consumer brand, so you can't make that much on it. Consumers actually buy based on the actual freaking chipset that's in it. if you're not spending money making that router, you don't get to just say, oh, well, we are Cisco. I mean, they rebranded all the Linksys routers Cisco, as if that was going to help. We are Cisco, therefore, we are worth 40% more than anyone else, even though someone like Asus is innovating hugely in the networking space. Speaking of which, this, but more on that in a bit. You can hold it up and be Vanna White if you'd like. I don't think I can keep a straight face while you do that. Right, so Cisco can't...
talk.
Cisco can't just slap their name on it and go, oh, well, we're Cisco, so you should pay this much more for it. So maybe they can only make 15% on each router. So even though that's profitable, it's not profitable enough to not erode Cisco's overall profitability as a company. And then stockholders look at that and they go, oh, Cisco's lost their mojo because this business unit is not...
Apple can.
Yeah, Apple can. Well, whatever.
Not okay.
Apple breaks every rule.
Yeah, most of the especially enthusiast custom PC market margins are pretty much not even there.
Not that much. Right. So anyway, that is all of that. Let's talk about this thing because this thing's freaking smurf.
Amazing. I'm gonna whip it out.
You're gonna whip it out right here on the live stream?
Yep.
That's that. Oh, I was getting excited there. Okay. I don't know. You talk about it. You tested it.
It has
Well, first, what is it?
It is an internal network card.
Okay, it's a PCE AC66.
Here, one sec. Hold.
Sure.
I'm just gonna screw
Oh,
this
it's
on.
hot. No, I'm just kidding. It's not hot, but it's hot like it's cool.
Oh, and it's red too.
And I drop it like it's hot.
Oh God. Okay, so we've been doing some AC testing.
Hot potato. Hot potato. Here. Okay, it's okay. I got it.
I was screwing something in.
I got it. Okay. Calm down.
But you've been holding the hot potato too long. You're dead now.
Ow! No, it doesn't kill you. It just burns your hands.
Oh, whatever.
Didn't you ever play hot potato as a kid?
Play hot potato with a grenade.
No, you play hot potato and then at the end you make out.
What?
We can do that part if you want.
No. Oh my God. That got interesting.
Yeah, this got out of hand very quickly. I need a monocle. So I can just put that on every time I say something like that.
What?
You know, I found a place that has monocles for only like $3.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They have silver ones and gold ones.
We have to dress up in crazy old school suits and wear monocles and go around with these.
Yeah, we would get arrested so fast. So fast.
That would be fantastic.
But that same site has everything. They have, you know how you can get Groucho Marx glasses, but they're always stupid. The mustache is blue.
Yeah.
Or they're just they're always not quite. They're not the classic one. How do you get they have the classic one cheap. They have battle ready swords for $60-$70 that are actually capable of being smashed against each other.
Yeah, so battle ready means you can hit them against each other and they're
Yeah.
not just gonna fall apart.
Yeah, which
immediately.
oh man, guys, never clash swords that are not actually tempered and folded and whatever the good things that they do to swords are. Because if those things break, even if they're not that sharp, shards of metal explode and it's bad.
Not good.
Yeah, really not bad. Really bad, not good. Why don't you just talk about this card?
Okay, so as you can see from the just absolute beast antenna array that comes along with it, with 3 individual leads that go into the back of the card like that, it's pretty heavy duty. I personally haven't really seen any internal cards that can really...
I mean, this thing has a heatsink on it. Look at it.
Beast heatsink.
Yeah. It looks like, this looks like a graphics card from not that many generations ago.
That looks like a graphics card, like 610.
Like a low-end one, yeah. Pretty much. It's smaller than a graphics card.
Yeah, but you're getting close. This thing's nuts.
Yeah.
So I've been doing testing over the last little while, and we've released 1 video.
Well, we filmed a video, but it's not released
No,
yet.
but we released one from before, from the launch of AC.
From CES. Oh, on AC.
From the launch of AC.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, we had tested a media bridge, an N450 USB wireless adapter. The media bridge is just receives and then goes to Ethernet. N450 USB adapter and then a AC USB adapter. The AC USB adapter was USB 2, so it was bandwidth capped, and there's a whole bunch of other weird stuff. And that was also a launch adapter, so it just was not very optimized. The AC USB 2 adapter was at 110 seconds to transfer a gig, and just failed epically. The N450 USB adapter hit around 95 seconds, which is not that surprising. It's about where it should hit. The media bridge crushed both of those and came in at about 27.3 seconds, I think, and that's decimal conversion, so that's not 27.3. Like it's decimal conversion. And then this guy just barely beat it within margin of error that if I ran a whole bunch more tests, they'd probably be pretty much equal. At like 26.98, I think. That's, again, decimal conversion. So that's pretty awesome. And we're looking at gigabit Ethernet being at about 11 seconds, not theoretical, like actual, the tests that I did with those files, that is at about 11 seconds. So when you've got wireless transferring a gig at 26 seconds, 27 seconds, that's pretty freaking awesome. And like, installation was fine. It's just PCIe 1X, PCIe 1X, and then there's no driver problems or anything like that, so it's really good to see. It's just absolutely beast. That's the thing I like about it. Like a lot of wireless cards you put in your computer, I'm always just like, oh, everything in my computer looks absolutely boss. Then I have this like random stupid PCB that just looks dumb. And then this one's all red and has a huge heatsink and has like serious business antenna array. I don't know. It's very cool.
Makes you feel like you actually bought something that was worth $100.
Yeah, instead of a lot of the wireless adapters that are just like, oh, this is kind of garbage.
Speaking of garbage, Apple is talking about nothing to do with garbage, actually. So the rumor on the street is that Apple is looking into building a smartwatch. So what would be your take on this? Basically, the idea would be that potentially using like curved glass, such as is available from Corningware. Corning. I don't think they call it Corningware when it's just the glass. So Corning. So some kind of processor that hopefully won't get that warm if you're going to wear it on your wrist all the time. So it would have the functionality of something like an iPod, but it would be a watch.
Natural flesh heatsink.
Microsoft apparently tried something like this back in 2003, and I say apparently because I never heard about it at the time.
Just like Microsoft's tablet.
Just like Microsoft, pushed tablet, and then the market just wasn't ready. So here's the question: is the market ready for a smartwatch?
I don't think so.
And I'd love to take Twitter. I'd love to take Twitter contributions on this, guys. So tweet: is the market ready for a smartwatch? How does that fit into your daily routine?
Now, there's two different angles that I'm going to come at this from.
Okay.
One angle is I don't think so. The other one is definitely.
Okay.
The I don't think so
That is a
angle.
very unique position.
No, I know. The I don't think so angle.
I definitely think so not.
The I don't think so angle is everyone is going for bigger, faster, more powerful phones. So the second you go to a smartwatch, that thing's useless and no one wants it. But then at the same time, if you have a Note 2 and you want to do something really quickly, you could just go to your watch instead of pulling out this massive thing that's probably way too big for you. So maybe it could streamline the really, really quick tasks that people want to do on their phone who have things like Note 2s and other massive phones. And maybe people will find a use case in that. But then if it's super expensive and people would need to basically replace one or the other, I don't think it's going to succeed.
Well, I think we've seen time and time again that Apple finds ways...
Yeah, it's also Apple, so it'll probably be fine.
Right. So, I mean, when the iPad was released, most of the mocking that was done of the iPad was, it's like a big phone. But then Apple's whole trick was, well, no, you need an iPad and an iPhone.
Yeah, so they're just going to add it as another...
And an iWatch. So there is no replacing going on. So I see the more likely use case scenario.
But the
Okay.
weird
I wasn't done
logical-
talking, but go ahead.
I thought you were. You pointed at me. Usually that's like flowing the conversation. But
Or it
anyways.
could mean you're fired.
Whatever. What was I going to say now? Yeah, but the like weird Apple mystical, like we can make people whatever think whatever they want, kind of disappeared with Steve Jobs.
Okay. But that doesn't change the fact that, okay, and the funny thing, again, this comes to public companies and the kind of scrutiny they get put under. iPhone 5 is selling a butt ton of phones.
Yes, but not at the scale that it should be. This is the exact argument that you were on the other side of the table for with Call of Duty. You said Call of Duty is dying. Call of Duty sold very well. It's just it didn't sell well on a scale. You can't flip-flop like this, hypocrite.
I I also just don't really much care for Call of Duty.
Don't.
Okay, whatever. So iPhone 5 is selling a butt ton of phones, and that's lots of phones, and all that's really good. But everyone, the sort of the doom and gloom, I mean, the way that their stock has just kind of been in free fall lately is that, oh, well, it's not selling at there's no growth rate here. So that's a big problem. So, right. So even if the iWatch is not a success by Apple standards, maybe it's not the next magical device like an iPad, do they still sell a buttload of units?
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah. If it's released by Apple, I'm sure it'll sell quite a few.
Okay,
quite a
so
few units.
I know you wouldn't buy an Apple product because you're some kind of a hippie.
No,
but
if they release something that's good, I will.
Wow.
Are
we gonna?
If I
Hold
bought a tablet, I would probably buy an iPad.
Are we going to end up in this argument again?
Probably.
Because the iPhone 4 is a good phone.
Okay, mine's better.
Yours was released like 2 years
Nexus
later.
S was better.
I don't know about that.
You never used it.
That's true, but it was ugly.
So it was good looking.
Okay. Never mind. Okay, so the phone. Let's say, or the watch, rather. The watch. Okay, so let's say the watch is an Android watch.
Okay.
Can you think of a way that that watch integrates seamlessly with the Android experience you have with the Galaxy S3? What could it do? Because it's probably going to have an MP3 player in it, which I think is stupid.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I believe, well, hold on, it is, but it's not. If you believe in wireless headphones,
yeah, exactly.
Then it's fine.
Yeah, but if you don't, that's just weird. Unless you're wearing like long, that's still weird.
I mean, if they had wireless headphones that were like lightweight
earbuds, but really lightweight.
Yeah, like if it's had like a separate battery in each earbud, so they could each just kind of sit in your ear. I mean, that's probably coming at some point, or it probably exists.
Yeah, so like that makes sense. But other than that, it's kind of weird.
Okay. But then I could just as easily have my phone next to the badminton court, and I could be listening to it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one way to make it work really easily is you could sync. You could probably sync your phone to it through Bluetooth, and then you could get like text messages and stuff on your watch.
Yeah, but typing on it would be a nightmare.
Voice, I almost would use it. Yeah, you could use. That's a good point. Definitely. Okay. And I would almost use it just to like check things.
Okay.
Because if someone texts me and it's not important and I'm out doing something, it would be nice to just be able to go like this, or I guess this side. Go like this.
You can buy two.
Yeah. Go like this, read it, be like, okay, this is important, I need to go grab my phone, I need to go deal with this, or, yeah, okay, I can talk to him later.
Okay, so that's it. So more than just time and date and alarms, but also any kind of notification. So if it's an internet-connected device...
Email, Twitter, text messages, whatever.
Yep.
Facebook. Headlines, RSS. Stocks.
So then all of a sudden, you know what, I think I've talked myself into this. Because if it's the problem with any kind of a smart watch in the past, I remember seeing like a Kickstarter or something like that for a really crazy looking watch.
Yeah, that did well actually. I don't know where it's at now, but it did well.
Probably disappeared because it's all about the ecosystem. That was what made...
It's Android.
Is it Android?
Pretty sure.
How well does it integrate with everything?
I haven't followed it. They might not even actually be manufactured yet. Remember, Kickstarter can take a while.
That was a long time ago. Anyway, so as long as it's integrated well with an ecosystem that works, I could probably get used to that idea. I think you'd have a hard time convincing a lot of people to wear a watch again. And
I think one of the things that, like, you and me are pushing a lot of, like, cool, but pretty heavy-duty tech into the watch. It's going to be interesting seeing them releasing something that powerful that doesn't burn your wrist off.
But I think we're pretty much there at this point.
Or at least getting close.
I mean, if they were using a 22 nanometer process node to manufacture something as powerful as an iPhone 3S, even. Seriously, that would be one small, power-sipping chip that is capable of pretty much anything you'd need to do with it.
No, it's interesting. It would be cool to get our hands on one.
Would you buy one?
Personally, probably no.
How much would you pay for one? Like, if it was $2, you'd buy one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if it was $20, would you buy one?
Depends on...
Really, $20?
Yeah.
Wow, you're so cheap.
Yeah.
If it was $20, you wouldn't buy an Android-powered watch.
I could invest... Oh, okay, this is... that's a little bit biased, but anyways.
Bear in mind, it's made by Apple, so it'll be, like, gorgeous. So $20 will be just fine.
Right. Okay.
Like it's probably the piece of glass on it.
Depends.
Is probably
Like if
worth
it comes out
$20.
and it's like, oh, it can get different clock apps and it can play music, then I'm gonna be like, no, I don't care,
Okay.
because I like my Tokyo Flash Japan.
What if it does all of the things that we've discussed already?
Then yeah,
Then you're down. How much?
I don't know, but a fair amount.
$100?
That's pretty boss, probably.
200?
That's pushing it.
That's pushing it. Okay.
Because I'm not that interested in this particular product, but if it was at a $200 price point, I think that would sell like crazy.
Okay. So the thing about watches, though, is margin expectations for the category would be extremely high. I mean, if you're someone like Seiko or Swiss, how terrified are you right now?
I think you're scrambling your butt off trying to get a manufacturing partnership with some Android developer, because you know Android's probably going to fight back and try and release their own, and you're probably just going, oh god, make us be the next Samsung.
Because, I mean, watch guys have been able to figure out for a long time
Sorry, keep going.
how to charge way too much for things. Like
Yeah. But at the same time, I think the classic kind of large, old school, like, because people will go and buy less technically advanced watches to get the intricate, really, really nice, really, really finely done watches, because it's a prestige thing.
Okay, and times change. There was
That's
also
true.
a time when a cell phone was a status symbol because it was, and you wanted it to be big and you wanted to show it off and you wanted to talk on it. Whereas then the trend was, let's make them as small as we freaking possibly can. Then that reversed, and now they're getting bigger. I mean, the technology thing has taken over analog
Definitely, yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
in almost every category you look at. So what does that mean for a traditional business like watches, where
I think
and Apple's so good at product placement?
That's true.
They can make it an iconic fashion statement.
Movies, whatever, they'll
Yes.
put it out there.
So no matter how much money Rolex has to spend on product placement for Rolexes, which is, I pretty much guarantee you, anyone here who owns a Rolex, a huge chunk of the money you paid them was not for the Rolex. It was so that they could pay actors to wear them. But anyway, go ahead.
And like placement and having stores in Las Vegas and like all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I think the big thing is because watches are still a huge fashion statement.
Yes.
Out of all the people that you know that wear watches, most of them are probably wearing it because it looks very nice.
Okay. So that might apply to the 40 and 30 somethings.
That's more what I mean.
But what about 20 years? So let's say Apple releases a watch within this calendar year.
Okay.
What about in the year 2033, when an entire generation of people has now grown up with the concept that a watch should tell you your text messages, and you should be able to just kind of yell at it that the restaurant you're in isn't very good, and it'll post a 1-star review on your Urban Spoon. Like,
That's interesting, very interesting, because there's constantly stuff online. Oh, my 3-year-old daughter was with me in the dentist's office and had no idea what this magazine was, and was trying to scroll down the page and stuff, and I'm just like,
no idea. I told you that story.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
just like that blows my freaking mind. So you probably have a point there.
So the watch business could just be dead in
Yes,
20,
but then
30
at the
years.
same time, they might be able to kind of maintain, because
Well, niche.
by adapting is
Okay.
my kind of thing. Because I think Apple is going to go out, manufacture their own, do everything on their own like they always do. Google is going to go, okay, we're building an Android platform for watches. Of course, this is all speculation. We're building an Android platform for
Yeah,
watches.
we have no idea if any of this is true.
Not a clue. We're building an Android platform for watches. We need manufacturing partners.
Right.
People are going to step up. People are going to adapt their game. They're going to come out. We can make this awesome looking watch. You guys load the software on it. We're good to go.
Or they're going to be Kodak, and they're going to say, no, it's a fad, and they're going to be Kodak.
That's true. Or they'll be Kodak.
Or Polaroid.
Or they'll be
Fujifilm.
Xerox, giving away mouse and UI.
Yeah. So that's our little talk about the potential. Yeah. Thompson in the Twitch chat says Apple will patent the wrist strap.
Apple will somehow patent the word watch.
Yeah. And like, the hands that move around it or something.
No, we invented this.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's blasphemy. We
So
invented
anyway,
this.
I thought that was pretty cool. Next up we have yes. So I'm just going to say that I can't say much about it, but there is in the mail right now, Saturday delivery, a product that Slick and I are both extremely excited to get our hands on.
I'm going to work on the weekend and be happy about it.
Yes, you are.
And I'm not just saying that.
And this is not a hint. This has nothing to do with what might be in the mail.
People aren't even posting it in the chat. They're still talking about watches.
The color of this M&M has absolutely nothing to do with the... Oh yeah, you can have an M&M if you want.
Nope.
What?
I have to steal it from
You have to steal it?
Yeah.
You can't... Here. No, it's
No,
okay.
no.
Now you have it.
No,
No,
it's
you're
okay.
holding it. I don't want it. You touched it. It's gross. So we have heard some things. There's rumors all over the place.
There we go. Holy crap. I think the stream is really far behind.
I don't know if you guys saw the rumor. Did you see that there was a posting? I think it was Amazon or Newegg or some retailer posted a...
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Posted a product listing for the Titan card, which is based on the same GPU as NVIDIA's Tesla card, so those are compute-level cards.
This isn't necessarily what we're talking about that's in the mail.
No.
This is an entirely different conversation.
What's in the mail?
I don't know.
What's mail?
I
Is that like
old
goods?
technology.
Okay.
Yeah, M-A-L-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was, for Titan, which is what a lot of people in the Twitch chat are talking about, I have no idea why, but for Titan, there was a mistaken listing, an early listing on one of the retailers that had it for $1,500. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You saw that, right? $1,500, had it with 6 gigs of RAM,
Yeah.
some ludicrous clock speed. I think, what was it, a 512-bit bus? I think they had it listed as
I
a
don't
5.
remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had it
It was
listed.
retarded.
Yeah, 512-bit bus. Which would make it by far the most expensive and most complex graphics card ever. Like, ever by far. So we have something in the mail that's not at all related to that we are extremely excited to check out. And when we can talk about whatever may or may not be in the mail, we are incredibly excited about talking about that.
Whatever that is.
I just wanted to let you guys know that you can expect a Linus Tech Tips video, which we should probably be calling Slick Tech Tips, because he's going to be the one testing whatever may or may not be in the mail, hypothetically testing it.
The thing that has something to do with this.
Nothing to do with that. I don't know. What is that? Why haven't you eaten that yet? I gave it to you to eat. You're just going to steal another one and put that one back or something. It's all about being deceptive with you. So yeah, guys, not everyone is going to have anything to talk about with relation to this, but we will. I see some comments in the Twitch chat about the Ares 2. We did get our hands on an Ares 2 today, but we only had about half an hour with it. So all we got done was an unboxing, unfortunately. But we did get like a nice close look at it, and I mean, performance isn't exactly rocket surgery with that card. It performs like 270 970s in Crossfire, Gigahertz Edition cards that are overclocked. That is all. I get asked a lot, Linus, how does a GTX 590 perform? Well, it performs exactly like two 580s that are slightly underclocked and running an SLI. There's no magic that goes into a dual GPU card. A dual GPU card is two single GPU cards, with the exception of a little bit of efficiency that might come from combining the VRM and having it all on one card, so there's a little bit less waste. That was all you were going to say. I know that.
I'm just making sure.
But in terms of the actual connectivity, some people have speculated to me that there's voodoo magic that goes on because the GPUs are closer together and can communicate better. No, they can't. No, they're not. They're just as far apart, pretty much. And the way that they communicate on that PCB together is via an SLI bridge or a Crossfire bridge.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Instead of a physical bridge that's separate, it's traces in the form of a bridge. They didn't redesign the GPU to build a dual GPU card. I'll let that sink in for a minute. All right.
Getting the manufacturing down and the R&D to make sure that it works and all that kind of stuff is a little bit
Yeah, it's already
magical,
enough.
but like it doesn't just magically do better. Yeah. Honestly, I prefer multiple. If you need that much, I would prefer to go multiple single GPUs instead of one big grouping of GPUs.
This is a segment that I've wanted to do for a while, actually. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up. So if you guys aren't already active, hold on. If you guys aren't already active on the Linus Tech Tips forum, this is a new segment that I'm going to be pulling from the live stream, from the Linus Tech Tips forum, and it is going to be called Featured Work Log of the Week. So there is a section of the forum that is all about sort of builds that people are working on, and this one just stood out to me like crazy. So this is by the forum member Doug, and hopefully there's a way to zoom this in some more because Doug's rig deserves to be shown off in more glory than I am able to give it right now with this feeble, pathetic right click.
Oh,
No, no, not
Open
not
image
in
in new
new
tab. Open image in new tab.
Open image in new tab.
Open image in
There we go.
new
No.
tab.
Oh, fail.
Never mind.
Open image in new tab. There
There
we
we
go.
go.
All right. So this is Doug's blue and white Shinobi build, which is absolutely beautiful. It's all about the little touches in the build like this. So for example, you can see on his Corsair power supply, he has covered up the Corsair branding with a matched, it looks like he's actually painted it.
It looks like it.
Yeah, with a matching paint that goes along with the paint that he's put on his SSD label.
Beautiful sleeving as well.
Yeah, he's
And here,
yeah,
oh, that's
gorgeous
just great.
sleeving. He's destroyed the warranty on these components, but Doug doesn't care because he's an enthusiast, and damn it, that's what enthusiasts
Look at the
do.
hard drives.
Look at the hard drives. The hard drives are also blue. The connectors are blue. Everything down to the last sort of detail is just freaking fantastic. So we're going to pull up
Oh, that's great.
this other image. This was the one that really stood out to me. So what I like about it is how plain and clean it is, and yet how just like out there it is with that color scheme. Like I've been on the record saying a number of times that I think that Asus's mainstream board color scheme can just go put itself in someone else's computer and not mine. But Doug has made it work, dang it. So he's found Corsair fans that also have that weird blue. He's got white ones up here, so he's got blue and white. He's done his sleeving very tastefully. Some people do the one accent one, some people do alternating. I like what he's done here because it's random, but not random. Like it just looks good.
It's random, but it works.
Yeah, he's sleeved his SATA cables as well, so those look really sharp right here. And actually, in terms of customization, there's not much he's done. All he did was cover the logo on his water cooler, okay, or remove it rather. He has covered this with a piece of metal, okay, so you can't see the mounting points for the optical drive. He's covered up this. He's done some sleeving. He painted his hard drive and his SSD, and that's it. But it looks really good. The effect is more than the sum of the mods that he's done. So I thought this was a really, really awesome rig. And I'd love for more of the Linus Tech Tips forum community members to post their rigs. And I'm going to make a point of choosing one, at least one per week, to showcase during the live stream so that everyone else can admire their work as well. And we're going to, man, I can't wait until VB5 goes gold. Look at that, though. Just
That's fantastic.
beautiful sleeving on this.
I
And
haven't seen this one. I really, really like build logs. I'm on there a lot, but I haven't seen this guy's.
Yeah, no, this one just really, really, really stood out to me. So I thought that was really cool. Wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed that gorgeous build. I actually, you know what, it's funny because normally the first thing I do when I look at a computer is I go, oh, what components did he use? And was that balanced and blah, 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 blah. I mean, normally any machine with a single 120 millimeter pre-done water cooling thing is kind of sort of off my radar in terms of coolness factor. But what he's done
Yeah,
is he's turned it into a system,
yeah.
not a sum of the parts. I don't even know what graphics card he has. Didn't even look. Did you look? Did you
No.
even notice?
No. I noticed that it had the nice white accent.
Yep.
That's all.
But that's all. He turned that computer into a work of art that is more than just the sum of the parts. So I
Very
thought that
cool.
was exceptional. And without actually that much work. I bet it took him a lot less time than I'm spending on my rig.
Yeah, but I'm still sure it took him time. Like, there was some really, really nicely done stuff in there.
That's true.
The SSD cover was awesome. The removal of the logo on the block was, like, it's all done very well. It's quality work.
Have you read any Surface Pro reviews?
None.
How do you not have any time to read anything?
What? Where did that come from?
Surface Pro, it's kind of a big deal. Made by
I
this
know.
company called Apple. They make a lot of tablets. No, it's made by Microsoft. So Surface Pro...
I know of the Surface Pro. I've read some Surface Pro reviews. I'm just not super fluent in it. I know it's awesome, but has really low battery life.
Okay,
So
all right.
Stop trolling.
Okay, you're unfired once.
Okay.
So the Surface Pro, guys. The Surface Pro is out. I've been asked to talk about it. I don't have a unit, unfortunately. I don't really have a hookup with Microsoft hardware, to be perfectly honest. Even the Surface, I'm gonna make a little confession here. I went and bought one, and then I returned it because I didn't have the money to keep it.
It was good. It just
Yeah, it was good. If I was going to buy a tablet, I would have seriously weighed my options and considered a Surface versus the iPad 2 that I use now. Actually, versus pretty much anything. I really liked Surface. So Surface Pro steps up Microsoft's game in a couple of big ways. Number one is they've added an x86 processor. In this case, it's an Intel processor, which just makes it like everything else looks like a dog and pony show, the fastest tablet out there. Well, when you compare it against more traditional tablets running Tegra 3 processors, S4 processors, running Apple processors, just everything looks like a joke compared to Surface Pro.
it's pretty beast.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, anyways, keep going.
x86 compatibility, meaning you can install any Windows-compatible application on it that runs on Win 8.
Totally boss.
Totally boss, totally awesome. Because Microsoft opted for a high-performance processor. I can't remember. Is it a Core i3? I don't remember what it is.
Like I said, I wanted to say I didn't read about
Yeah.
it because I didn't read about it that much.
It's a real chip, not an Atom. So unlike Asus's Vivo Tab Smart, which can run x86 applications but isn't particularly high performance, but does get about 8-hour battery life, which is good. The Surface Pro is just way faster, but suffers big time in terms of battery life. So it only gets 3.5, 4.5 hours of battery,
Yeah.
which I personally find
Underwhelming.
it's hard to take seriously these days because here I'm gonna harp on. Why don't you
Like-
tell them what you do know about Surface Pro? I'll be back in a minute.
We covered most of what I do know about Surface Pro. The main reason why I was excited is the x86 compatibility. Come from a lot of programming school, so tablets are pretty much useless for me other than reading textbooks. But and like when I first showed up to my first class in post-secondary, I was like, oh, I want a tablet so I can like take notes on it. And then I was like, oh wait, I can't install anything that's useful for me in this class.
Yeah.
So it was just not feasible. So Surface Pro makes it absolutely feasible.
So yeah, Surface Pro does that. The thing that bothers me about it, though, is it's not a tablet in terms of its form factor. I wouldn't even consider, it is a tablet in terms of its form factor. Sorry, it's a little thicker than a normal tablet. But it's not a tablet in terms of its battery life, which to
No.
me is a big part of mobility.
Yeah.
I would not, and I'll go on the record saying this, in fact I'm doing it now, I would not upgrade my iPad 2 to an iPad 3 or an iPad 4. If you gave me the option to do a straight swap, I wouldn't take it. Go ahead and ask me why.
It's going to be better
That's right.
life. You answered your own question beforehand.
Whatever, man. iPad 2 has better battery life than either iPad 3 or iPad 4, which for me, because I only use it occasionally, the only convenience that comes out of a tablet is knowing that when I pick it up, it still has a charge on it. That's it. That's the only compelling thing about it. I mean, it's a tablet. It's stupid. You can't type on it.
We were thinking about using a tablet as our slate before shots.
Yes.
The slate is you write like the shot number and the take number and the scene number and
Makes
all
it
that
easier
stuff.
in editing.
And then you do the clapper thing. And
Diesel complained that we didn't slate.
he's got a point, but we totally didn't.
He does have a point.
So we were thinking about doing that, but then we're just like, if it runs out of battery life, then we're screwed.
I'd rather just have a whiteboard and a marker because we know it'll always work. So,
Yeah.
so that to me is the convenience of a tablet. And a tablet that only has a 4-hour battery life is not a tablet to me. That's a notebook. Even though the form factor is gorgeous in a tablet, and it still has the kickstand, which I still think is awesome. But if I was going to buy something, and Surface Pro is not cheap, it's
No.
around $1,000 bucks.
Yeah.
If I was going to buy something like that, why don't I spend an extra $200 and get an Acer S7?
His laptop is primo.
This is an awesome notebook. It has Gorilla Glass up on here. It's super slim. It's about as thin as an iPhone. Well, it's a little thicker than an iPhone 4, but it is super slim. It's okay, the iPhone 4 is upstairs.
I was going to grab an SSD.
It has a 1080p IPS screen, so 1080p just like the Surface Pro. Has a full keyboard. It is light enough that I can hold it with one finger like this. So it is actually legit light enough to just oh yeah, there's an SSD. Okay, here. Let's do the size comparison with the SSD. There you go. So it's extremely slim. It's light enough that you could legit walk around with it in one hand and use it as a touchscreen device like a tablet. Why don't I just get this? Because Surface Pro is not really that much more portable because this folds so thin that you can tuck it into, I mean, even by the time you put it in its sleeve, it's not bulky.
Not that much bigger. The only use case that I can even pretty much think about is, remember when we were flying to Vegas? And I tried to whip out my laptop on the plane.
Okay, right.
Remember when I was like...
So in a confined space.
When you're in a confined space, which is not as applicable to most people in Canada, but around the world is more and more applicable, it's kind of...
Awkward.
Needing to use the keyboard when you're cramped up is difficult. If you can go like this and just tap on your tablet, way easier. But then this is a touchscreen, is it not?
It's a touchscreen.
So then you could use it in that case with an on-screen keyboard.
So here, think about it. So put yourself in a plane seat and hold this. Okay?
Oh.
Don't worry, you got this. You got this under control. Can you use that on a plane?
Not even really the keyboard because it's the same kind of situation.
Yeah.
But then the screen is perfect, easy to use. Of course I'm spinning. I'm going to hit the table. Oh, barely made it. If I type you, that would be one nice thing. If you could install an app that would make it so that if you actually tapped on the screen, that it would bring up an on-screen keyboard. Oh my god.
I'm using PWM control to keep him spinning.
Because he hits me
with full force,
in a rhythm
but
every time.
not very
Which keeps my momentum up. So if you could actually tap on the screen, I'm going to try to keep this facing the camera. That's not going to work. If you could tap on the screen and have it, whoa. Whoa!
This is what the live stream would be like if we were both like under the influence of something. It's like, whoa, man! If you could just tap on the screen, then
stop hitting it. It's a nice laptop. Leave it alone.
Ah, okay, fine, fair enough. It can handle it.
I know.
It can handle Gorilla Glass. Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, if you could maybe change what mode it was in. And be like, I only want to use the screen. And then have it so if it would react like a tablet. So if you click on a text area, like a notepad, if it would automatically bring up a typing screen, that would be cool. Is that available? Is that
I'm willing to bet that's a thing. I'm willing to bet that you can turn off
that would be very cool.
There has to be a way to do that. Like, there just has to be.
Because that would be fantastic.
Like, settings.
And one thing that kind of solves this whole thing that we're talking about.
There it is. It's in the Charms menu, which is the convenient place in Windows 8 where you can access pretty much everything. Settings, keyboard, touch.
Beautiful. But
so
does that, if I go to a different app...
Here, Windows.
Okay.
Internet Explorer. There you go. Okay, you're not showing them what you're doing, but... Yeah, there you go.
So
Soft keyboard.
I clicked in a text area, so email, phone number to log into Facebook, and that automatically brought up a keyboard, so that's fine. Another laptop that comes across this has an awesome hinge, but another laptop that goes above and beyond is the Yoga.
Yes, right, the Yoga. So that's one that has a hinge that goes all the way around, so you can use it as a tablet and as a notebook, and is actually not that expensive compared to Surface Pro as well.
Nope.
So I guess to me, Surface Pro fills a niche that I didn't have. However, Haswell is going to be a big deal because Surface Pro is using like a 13-watt chip or something like that. Like it's low tens of watts, or like...
We talked about this before. We were both actually pretty surprised, if you remember this conversation, that they didn't just wait. We know they're under like marketing pressure and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they have to release something.
Is going to be so much better.
So Surface Pro 2, which has potentially 8 hours of battery life, all of a sudden, $1,000, I may be buying one.
That's probably the sweet spot.
That's probably the sweet spot.
It starts to be like, okay, that's actually awesome.
Yeah. So Surface Pro 1, I think I'm a little bit leery of. Where did that keyboard go?
It always vanishes.
I know. I think it's always you who moves it.
I literally never touch it because it's so small
Why did you
that I
put it
can't
over
type
here?
on it. Why did you spin me around in my chair until I couldn't see anything?
Well, that was just like cool. Okay, so let's go back to Twitter for a little bit. 389 new interactions. I'm sorry that we've ignored Twitter, you guys. Oops.
Internet Explorer is the only... We haven't done anything with that laptop.
Yeah, that laptop's it's a loaner unit, so we haven't exactly...
We didn't bother to install browsers.
Okay.
Just using stock stuff. What are you doing, man?
Can John just kind of not have inappropriate stuff all over his Twitter feed?
Look at his @ handle.
I know! Why does he do this?
Because he's John.
My friend is selling his 7970 and offered to trade for my GTX 670 and $20. Yeah, go for it. Unless it has bad coil whine, and because you're buying it used, you have the opportunity to check it out first. Are you excited for Bungie's new game Destiny? Trailer this Sunday? Isn't it a little early to be excited if we don't even have a trailer yet?
And I like what is it, Take-Two Studios? I like what the new company did with it. I was a pretty big fan of Halo for Halo 1 and Halo 2, and then Halo 3 just completely ruined it for me. And then the newest Halo, I played it a little bit, but I'm not exactly a console gamer at all anymore. So it was kind of awkward, because I'm like, how do I do things? What?
You're spinning again. Just trying to imagine playing with the controller.
Basically, that's pretty much it, because keyboard, mouse, or die. But anyways, it seemed a lot more polished than, like, Reach, which was kind of terrible. So, no, not particularly excited.
Good question, Scott. You have to figure out where the green wire would be and bridge those ones.
Yeah.
Don't guess wrong, though. What's the best computer case for $70? Hard to say. There's not that much that's that great for $70. Probably a cheap Cooler Master would be your best bet.
Yeah, and the MSI Interceptor is on sale for $49.99.
Is the Shinobi around $70? Sometimes on promo, I think it is.
Watch for promo sales.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to get your good cases at that price.
Yeah. With the new consoles using 8-core processors, will future PC games have better multi-core support? You know what? I would have said that last generation.
Yeah.
Because Xbox has 3 cores, which back then was a big deal, and Cell has, how many cores does Cell have? Like 6 or something stupid like that?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Think
It has a
it'll
bunch of cores.
Stronger though.
Why? Because they didn't optimize it last time.
Right.
Even though there was lots of multi-core awesomeness going on in there.
I still think it'll be a little bit stronger.
Well, we can hope. We don't need smart everything. Even fridges have the smart title. I think phones are enough. Mitch, you're wrong, and in 20 years we can have this conversation again, and I can tell you how wrong you are. Because everything is going to be smart, and everything is going to be connected.
Stuff like fridges and stuff like washing machines that are all coming out with like wireless connectivity and all this ridiculous stuff sounds nuts until you start hearing use cases of people that are actually developing stuff for it.
Yes.
A friend and I worked on a Arduino controller rig. Was it Arduino or was it? Pretty sure it was Arduino. And we have it set up in the bottom of his apartment complex so that he can, like, he has it tucked in behind the washing machine and the dryer so people don't see it. And he just connects it together and then puts his wash in and it sends him an email when it's done.
Right.
So he doesn't have to keep checking on it at random times or even bother to figure out how long the thing takes because it just sends him an email right away.
And the problem right now is how fragmented it is. Because there's all these competing companies and all these competing standards. Once someone strong enough, whether it's a General Electric or whether it's like, once someone strong enough comes in and says, no, this is how we're doing it, and standards can start being built around that, then we're in for very exciting times. What if you're...
Yes, because honestly, right now, a lot of it sucks. Which is why you're going, why do I need a smart fridge? Because most of them suck.
Right. Why do I need a smart TV? Smart TVs are stupid. They don't work with a bunch of different file types, and the webcam's terrible because most of them suck.
Yeah.
But it's coming. And these incremental improvements have to come. AR Drone V1, the one on the wall behind me, had a terrible camera, not very good range. The replacement has HD and works with wireless N and goes much further. Like, these iterations have to happen in order to ever deliver a truly finished product. Now imagine this. What if your smart TV could do more than just have a touchscreen on the front that you can browse the web and look at recipes on? What if your smart TV, your smart fridge, integrated with every single item you had in your fridge, using cameras all over the place, knew you had a tomato, and all you had to do was go on your tablet, look at a recipe and go, I'm going to make that, and your fridge would send you a shopping list for all the things you don't have yet.
Or you can even go, hey fridge, what can I make tonight?
What can I make?
Or what do you recommend me? Because the fridge knows what you like because of reviews you've given it.
That's right. And the food that you actually have inside of it. Your fridge could set up I mean, okay, here. So work this into something like what Amazon's doing with their same-day shipping. What if Amazon gets the infrastructure figured out to the point where they can do food within like an hour or two? All of a sudden, instead of, takeout from a restaurant, you might be ordering through your fridge. Your fridge might go, oh, okay, it's almost time for dinner. Tuesdays are macaroni night. It could place an order automatically with Amazon. They could deliver it to you 2 hours later. The fresh groceries arrive at your door. You put them on the stove. You make the food, and then you don't even have to inventory food necessarily in your fridge so much. So it becomes an exercise in run rate and replenishment. I mean, we're going back to the milkman.
Yeah, pretty much. I was actually just going to say we're going back to the milkman concept.
That's right. We're going back to the milkman concept. What happened to fresh food? It's gone. Fresh food might be making a comeback because of technology like smart fridges. So there. That is my argument for smart fridges and why they're not actually stupid. Well, they're stupid now.
Yeah, but like it's the future that we're looking into. And when he was talking about iterations of things like the AR drone, we were just talking about that with the Surface Pro.
Yes, right. Okay,
the second one is what we're like we said, the sweet spot.
That's a very good point. You're unfired again.
Where am I even at?
I'm not sure anymore.
They'll figure it out.
Greetings from Latvia. What about the rumors of postponing the AMD 8000 series till next year?
Can we even?
I don't know. There was a thing on Hardware Canucks.
So we can?
Well, that was on Hardware Canucks. We can talk about the article.
Okay, I didn't read that.
So AMD has already said that they're going to be refreshing the 7000 series. This was an article on Hardware Canucks where Hardware Canucks says AMD said, so I don't have any kind of validation from AMD about this. Seriously, I don't actually. No, I don't. The guy I was talking to today, he knew nothing. So it's going to be somewhere between a 7800 series, or 7700 series and a 7800 series as a refresh, at least. So that much they're talking about now. So while it might not end up being called 8000 series, AMD will be releasing some kind of GPU product at some point. According to the Hardware Canucks article, sometime in the first half of 2013. So it's not like they're just, going to lie there and sort of, have NVIDIA just kind of like rub Titan in their face. It's not going to be quite like that, guys. So I'm excited to see what they're actually doing. And it wouldn't be the first time one of these GPU makers, supposed GPU makers, has gone and pulled some kind of rogue BS CIA tactic. I mean, okay.
8000 to 9000 series NVIDIA.
As a retailer, when NVIDIA launched the GTX 680, we all thought it was coming in at $599. NVIDIA pulled a price move. Okay, nobody knew this. None of the add-in board partners, which they're not called for NVIDIA, they're called ABPs. Oh no, add-in board partners. It's AIBs for AMD. Anyway, these are important distinctions. None of the add-in board partners for NVIDIA even knew. So they were all charging their customers according to a $599 sell price. NVIDIA dropped a bomb like the day before launch and dropped the price to $499 before it even launched. And I suspect they intended this all along. So a lot of the rumors and a lot of the stuff you see out there is intentional leaks that are meant to mislead the competition and meant to sort of
stir up
buzz,
the community.
Stir the pot and get people talking.
The amount of buzz that's gone around about Titan is just absolutely insane. Like,
oh yeah, it's crazy.
Nuts. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, we've seen stuff like this before, but this is kind of up there for the amount of buzz we've ever seen. And, like, it's kind of cool. It's an interesting new aspect that they're taking. It's GK110 chip, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's cool, but still. Got any more topics?
Actually, kind of. This is my...
We haven't really sat and taken very many Twitter questions. Like, we just took a few.
Okay, you want to do some now?
Sure. Best USB mic for under $100. Which scene is the Twitter scene? There we go. Best USB mic for under $100. I haven't tried way too many USB mics. This might be a better question for Diesel, at Diesel the Intern.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of really good experiences and read a lot of really good reviews of Blue mics, BLUE. I have a Blue Snowball, and it's fantastic.
Is that under $100?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And my brother has a Blue Yeti, which I think is a lot closer to $100, if not slightly over. It might be like $89 or it might be $110. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's somewhere closer to the $100 price point.
They're generally extremely well regarded, so maybe it's not.
They're really good.
Maybe there's some obscure brand from Latvia that makes a better one.
Yeah.
But if you bought a blue mic, you'd probably be satisfied.
They're really, really good.
What was that site you were talking about? Sorry, man. Got no idea.
No context.
Singularity Computers apparently makes an awesome custom Prodigy build, so if you guys aren't afraid of clicking links on the Twitter stream, then go ahead and check that out.
That's cool. We made ours in
Yeah, ours was done in what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours?
Not even. That's including filming time.
Oh yeah, that's true. That included filming the whole process, so. Is the 7970 Matrix worth the extra? No idea if DK's making a water block for it. You should check with them about that. As for whether it's worth the extra, hard to say. It does perform better. It is, as of right now, this exact moment, the highest performing single GPU card. However, what I would probably do is I would hold out for a little while and see if any kind of higher performance single GPU card comes out. Hey guys, I'm back. Went on a trip with the family, missed a lot. Am I invited to the Tech Tips team anymore? Nick, you are the man, and you're as invited as you ever were. Did we ever invite him to anything?
We were talking about it, and then there was no communication, and then I closed invitations for the mod team.
Oh, bummer.
And we're currently not recruiting for the mod team. Sorry,
okay,
Nick.
sorry, man. I would use a watch like that. Good. What is the battery life for that S7? Not that great. Without the extra battery pack, I'm not that impressed.
It does have a pretty cool extra battery pack, though.
But it has a cool extra battery pack.
And it comes with it.
Comes with it and mounts and doesn't look stupid. So I think without the extra battery pack, I mean, I haven't actually had it run out of battery on me yet or anything. I haven't had it run out, so it's hard to say. I'm getting a Zonar Essence STX next week because of you, Linus. Yes, you are cool now. Respect. What is the best AMD Mini ITX motherboard? I don't even think there is a current Gen 1. I mean, part of the problem is that Piledriver and Bulldozer put out so much heat, and the socket is so big, and there's so much overhead because of the mounting bracket. It's really hard to build an ITX board for it. So just go Intel. Sorry.
That motherboard.
Yeah, get a P8 Z77i whatever deluxe, the good ones.
Yeah.
Was wondering what kind of hit to lifespan. Hold on, I'll get there. Oh no, there's no Windows 8 giveaway tonight. Actually, I could do one. I have that copy of Windows 8 that I won at CES. Should we do another Windows 8 giveaway just for old time's sake?
Sure, but this one's from us, so we can make whatever we want the question.
Did you ever send the prize winner to me from last week?
No,
Can you do that?
Okay.
Because you said you were going to look it up. You walked to your computer and said, I'm going to go find it now. I hope you can find it.
I hope I can too.
Okay. So what should we make our question for this week? Guys, we're doing a Windows 8 Pro giveaway.
What's our question going to be?
It
doesn't have to be about Windows anymore. It can be about anything. This is ours now.
It's ours. You know what? We never let them participate in the. I asked a question on Twitter, and then we never actually took any of the answers.
What was your question?
I don't remember. At all. It's like, do you remember the black and yellow?
I do. That was guy sent it to me when I first started on Twitter, and it was actually a pretty boss build. You had an M power, and you had a lightning, and you had all this stuff looked really good.
Yes, a 200R is a pretty good budget case. I mean, it's budget, so it's not that great, but when are you going to get a 4K monitor? Probably not until they hit $1,500 to $2,000. I think that's my threshold.
I just upgraded my monitors. I'm not looking for an upgrade for quite a while.
I haven't upgraded my monitor in over 3 years now.
Yeah. So before that one, it was 6 years for my main monitor. And the secondary monitor I was using, it was 10 or 11 years for that one. So I was pretty much due time.
James asks, any personal rig updates? There will be a personal rig update coming soon, I promise. The personal rig is being worked on right now. Well, not right now, the second, because I'm live streaming, but it is being worked on.
I pretty much always rag on him for it, but he is actually making ground now.
You saw that it worked on, right?
Yeah.
The motherboard is in it.
I actually haven't seen that.
Okay.
Last I saw was Gelid Wings.
Yep, Gelid Wings are in it. I'm tweeting updates, so I'm tweeting pictures as I go.
I don't really watch his Twitter, so I don't know.
Yeah, whatever, man. I just got 50 megabit down internet. What router should I get? Honestly, it's probably not that important for 50 megabit. Apparently you stole a blue M&M.
Why do you tell him?
We are working on. Oh yeah, this is something. We are working on benchmarks for the 8350 versus the 3570. So you finished one test bench already, right?
Yes, I did.
The 8350 is done.
No.
Wait, what? 3570K.
On Windows 7.
I thought we were going to test on Windows 8 only.
I just.
Did you just veto that?
Yeah.
Since when can you veto things? What do you think this
Since
is?
you stopped benchmarking stuff.
Okay. Okay. Here's apparently a link to the Titan online retail listing.
Careful about that.
Yeah, we're not going to click on it. It's okay. When is the NDA? No idea. Or at least if we did know, we couldn't say. Where did you get the T-Balancer? I ordered it online. They have notification smartwatches already. Sony Mobile!
Yeah, they've had notifications. Smartwatches.
Yeah, but I want like the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And this is why friends don't let friends push-pull. No, too scary. And no, that was not a Galaxy 780. That was a Galaxy 670. DS sends a suggestion. When you say you're going to do Twitter Q&A, how about actually doing it?
Where did that car even go? Okay. Look at it says on the...
Yeah, 670 right there. Smartwatches have no place. I always lose watches anyway. Slick's right, they're underpowered and generally not good. Well, hopefully that all gets addressed.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Why not a gauntlet? Great question. Smart gauntlet.
Just like...
Yeah, I mean...
That would be so blingin'. It's so big. You're automatically gangster.
I feel like I'm in, like, Reboot. The Pebble. That's right. That was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking of. Market's ready whenever Apple says so. Or Apple's really good at figuring out when the market's ready, just saying.
That's true. Google Glass is another crazy one that's coming.
Yes for Apple Watch if they make it fast, easy, and not stupid to use. Okay?
That's very important. Like, it has to be good. And the problem is, without Steve around, they've been releasing some crap. If Steve was still around, I'm sure it would be good.
Yeah, I'm sure Google or Apple Maps would never have made it.
Exactly, yeah.
With Jobs there. David says, I would pay anything for an Omni tool from Mass Effect.
Yeah? Yeah?
Don't need a smartwatch because I have a nice watch and I have a smartphone. But then again, I used to say the same thing about why would I need a smartphone if I have a pocket PC and a phone?
But that's two devices.
Right, that's the same thing.
Yeah, but... yeah.
Okay, it's 2 to 2 as opposed to 2 to 3. Is that what you're trying to say? Sony smartwatch, Android watch. Okay, battery life will be a problem since watches shouldn't be too big. However, blinged out watches a lot of the time are big.
Yeah, very often they're really big.
You could check things, look at customizable watch, control your phone MP3, look at GPS while you're walking. NFC would be actually kind of cool.
NFC would be really cool.
NFC would be balling, but NFC just destroys battery life.
Yeah.
So I'd be really interested to see how that works out.
They could use some type of, like, not even necessarily NFC, but like RFID technology.
Right, okay.
Just for like unlocking gateways or whatever.
Watches are like cars, just a status symbol no matter the tech. Not necessarily.
It is, though.
You can buy a $4 Casio.
Yeah, but in a lot of cases, like, he has a point, though. I think that little niche market of, like, ridiculously, stupidly high-end watches.
That'll still exist.
Yeah.
But that won't sustain the company completely. For every $250,000 watch that Rolex gets to sell, they need to move some $25,000 ones. They're moving more than 10 of those for every one of those. Yeah. Like, you need everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, not every car is a Okay, right, but fancy ones are. I don't think I own anything that's a status symbol. I was just thinking, my car's not a status symbol.
Not necessarily status symbols to most people, but you have some cannot has. Definitely.
That's true, okay.
We have different status symbols than most people do.
That's true. Hey, I have 12 copies of Dota 2 and don't need them. Daniel, my suggestion would be head over to linustechtips.com. Head over to the forum and see if you can find some cool community members. Maybe even, make it a fun little game for yourself. Find someone who left a great reply for somebody.
And then just award them a key because they're awesome. That's
PM
really
them a key and leave a note in the thread. Great reply. Thanks so much. And we appreciate your patronage.
That would be boss if you did that. That would be very boss.
Yeah, they're out there but not selling well. Again, it's all about the Apple factor.
No one's really marketing them that hardcore.
Yeah.
Apple will market it hardcore.
Okay, no to the watch. Why don't you just smash a glass bottle on your wrist? What would you do if you fell over and smash? I mean, come on, man. You could make the same argument about a smartphone. Why would you carry a piece of glass in your pocket if you fell over? It could smash it. And
honestly, it's going to be not glass all the way around here. And
No.
then glass just on the very top. It's be very, very, very durable glass on the
Sorry, James. Sorry, James. Apple will find a way to make people want one. Ubuntu phone. We've talked about Ubuntu phone at CES. Slick and your ideas are good, but the problem is the size to read
It
messages
doesn't have
and
to
stuff.
be that big.
But screen size, he's right. Screen size could be a factor. Although, I mean, the thing about a watch is it's very sort of, you know, if you can't see very
Yeah,
well,
you're going like this. Like, it's going to be pretty close. Closer than most people hold their phones.
And as
which
long
is-
as it
you
has a
can't see
retina
this.
display, like, and I see, look at me using Apple's branding terminology for things. As long as it has a high pixel per inch display, high resolution, high pixel density display, high retina display. As long as it has a retina display, I'm sure it'll be fine. Not time yet. When they can make the smartwatch replace the phone or process for something like Google Glasses, then maybe. But that's how the ecosystem will work. Is the phone might be like a processing offload for the watch and the glasses.
That's what kind of what we were talking about.
Yes.
Was you connect it to your phone,
Yes.
and then your phone would actually do everything. It would just push
Ecosystem.
to the watch.
Everything. On the subject with the texting, you can set up a quick message, so instead of typing, you can select text. Just like when you're on your phone and you get a text and you can be like, sorry, I can't, I'm driving, or whatever. Or when you get a phone call, you can reply with a text. So that could be a really cool thing. Yeah, there's the Pebble again, which is really, really cool. I don't remember anything about it, but I read about it at some point, and I thought it was cool. What will it do, and will there be internet plans? How will it work?
I'm sure there'll be internet plans.
What if it's not?
They're going to find some way to try and monetize it for the ISPs.
Okay, maybe.
There will probably be Wi-Fi and 3G versions.
And smartwatches could be kind of like a pager. So we could be back to the pager concept.
It could also just be tethering.
Yep. Oh yeah, it could just tether to your
Yeah.
smartphone. Apple will pull it off anyway. I think that when we're... Okay. So, recommend water cooling tubing. Primo Chill, Primo Flex, LRT.
Yep.
That's
we
it.
have some, like, right on the other side of that wall.
Yeah, because it's the best. It's for
Yeah.
my personal rig.
I use it
Only
in mine
the-
as well.
Only the finest tubing. My tubing status symbol. Alright guys, I think that is pretty much it. We actually ran 15 minutes over today. Thank you for tuning into the live stream, and we will see you guys next time. I don't think I had any more topics that I really, really wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the penny's gone in Canada. That was something I wanted to talk about like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's been a bit.
And that's pretty much it. Good night, everyone. Or good morning. Or good afternoon. Or, I don't know.
Good whatever is in with the span of 24 hours.
Good noon. Actually, no, it won't be quite noon anywhere because it's quarter to the hour. So,
Oh,
yeah, so that's not really a thing.
yeah.
Good evening.
Possibly.
Didn't cover that yet.
Possibly.
Good.
Dinner, supper.
Good night. Good night.
Oh my god, just stop the stream.
Good night.
You need to go to bed.
You
I
don't
need to
even-
go home.
You don't even know the reference, do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well,
What is it from?
Here we go. Here we go. Here
Where's
we go.
this
Here
from?
we go. Here we go. Here we go.
I might know once you show me, but I don't think so.
Mon-
Oh, okay.
Monty Python
Yeah.
job interview. Come on. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those of you who haven't seen it,
I just haven't seen Monty Python in a ridiculously long time. Remember to
Okay.
make it quiet or at least mute.
so
or
there's
something.
there's the silly job interview. No, I'm gonna turn it
You
off.
know,
So hopefully they can.
I really enjoy interviewing applicants for this management training course. Morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh dear.
Hold on, where is
Why
it?
did you ring the bell?
Why do you?
Sounds pretty good.
Good night. Ding 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 ding.
He's doing the uncomfortable hands thing.
Yeah. So that was the reference there. That wasn't just random, and we're actually turning off now.